Hello, and welcome back again to the ISS Vanguard strategy campaign playthrough. Uh, we just finished up our climactic exploration at Everstorm, and now we're going to go ahead and proceed on with the ship phase. So let's jump right into it. We did take our basic lander, which got destroyed, but we still do get to take back 5 discoveries. I've got 7 laid out here, so we need to decide which ones we're going to keep. So those are the ones we're going to keep, and so we'll discard the other 2. So we've got those 5. And now let's move through debriefing. Promote, we did manage. We got 7. And very early on, we made sure to take care of our rank up. So I've already gone ahead and ranked everybody up. All right, create the success pool. We've got the 7 successes we picked up now, plus 6 we had before. So we can definitely afford to buy a die. 3, 7 plus 6 is 13. It's going to cost us 9 to buy a die. Now that's going to knock us down to 4. If it were going to knock us down to 3, I wouldn't bother using an instructor because we'll just gain another success. Although then again, we're going to gain 1 from here. So yeah, we're not going to be at the 3 or fewer for the trophy case. But why not? We have a lot of crew members now, and I don't think as much to do this ship phase as last time. So I think we are probably going to have an instructor. So I'm going to take a look over and decide who that's going to be. So for Keith, he will be the instructor this time around. So we will send him to resting. That is going to reduce the cost from 9 to 8. So we will spend these 7 that we picked up plus 1 additional one from over here. And we get a new die. And we're getting down to it. You can see I've already laid out some dice. I kind of was planning ahead and thinking about just down the line which dice. And I can change my mind later. But for now, this is kind of where I'm looking with the progression. So, most notably, I got to get a Xeno die in security so that Cheryl can have some chance of completing her mission in the future. So for science, we're going to go ahead and grab a scouting die. We're going to take a construction die for recon, a strength die for engineering, and a gathering die for security. And then the other 4 we'll just set aside. So that takes care of buying or selling dice. Now we do unloading. So let's go ahead and go through. So we can discard this mineral to gain a random microorganism discovery. Unfortunately, that means we're, at the moment, are not going to be able to do the research that requires 2 mineral discoveries, but we do have the opportunity to pick one up in our travels. So we have another one that requires microorganisms, and that seems a little bit harder to get. So let's go ahead and use this ability. We will discard this. We will get a microorganism. It's detector spores. This, again, special ability doesn't apply. It goes right to gather discoveries. We gain a success from the veined tunicate. And so we could discard this live specimen to get an alien discovery. And I think we're going to go ahead and do that because we already have now 2 live specimens. So that gets discarded. Pick up another alien discovery. It is vibrating coupling. Cool. Okay. So, and then that all goes up here with our gathered discoveries. We got a little bit of everything at this point. So actually a lot of bit of everything. So looking good gathered discoveries wise. So we are done with that phase. Right. No unique discoveries. So let's jump ahead to medbay. All right. So first things first, everybody heals up a bit. Petra is sprung. She's out. Millie's feeling a little bit better. And Boris is feeling a little bit better. And now we have the opportunity to boost. We can assign some other crew as therapists. And I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Because we're assigning a crew and we're getting a crew back. So let me take a quick look over and decide who is going to get to be issuing some therapy this time around. Okay, so Zyma seems to have a, even though she's a hermit, she may not be known for her bedside manner, but she loves to talk about plants and anything biology related. And Boris is very interested in biology, doubly so. That's his double specialty. So I think Zyma is going to do a good job of helping him nurse back to health. And so she will go to resting. That's tiring work, talking about plants all day. Boris, however, will go to available crew. And then I think Zoe, who has become fast friends with Millie even before this mission, will kind of help her feel better and get her on the mend more quickly. So that completes that part of medbay. Now, unfortunately, we do have one injury, so that's not terrible. Monica's still rather disappointed about that, but Gia is going to need to rest up. She's got a moderate injury, so let's slide her in there. That does it for medbay. Nothing going on in the memorial wall, thank goodness. It was looking pretty hairy, but thankfully we had that royal jelly to save the day. So we will carry on with the bridge phase. All right, so we do have a couple of bridge upgrades to install. We have the Vindicator cannon. It's now ready for battle. So some events will check to see if this is in the bridge. So we'll go ahead and slide that in here. And then we've got the long-range detection array. The Vanguard can now detect the builder's steles from a long distance. Go to log 509 when installed. So let's go ahead and jump over to the app and find out what we've learned.
Captain's log, entry D721.
I think even Dr. Corey was surprised by the effectiveness of our new stele detector array. As soon as we brought it online, it picked up several small stele signatures from the surrounding systems, and also one big enough to turn the heads of everyone on the bridge. At first, we thought this to be a fluke, a teething problem of the system. But the more we looked into it, the more it became certain. There was an entire cluster of several steles, not far from our current star system. Needless to say, it became our new priority target.
Wow. Okay, we now have a new objective. Vanguard is now able to study the stele cluster signal in system Keppler 831. So we're going to move objective card 004 treasure trove from bridge cards to the card holder and remove the previous campaign objective from the game. All right, let's take care of that. All right, so our new objective is treasure trove. Objective, go to the Keppler 831 system and look for the cluster of signals. Our new scanner detects a cluster of stele signatures in a nearby system. So let's go ahead and install that. And then, again, so that completes installation. Now we'll generate our pools. We are going to get 3 + 1, 4 command tokens, 4 + 1, 5 energy. We do not gain a success from the Hall of Trophies at the beginning. That's only if you have 3 or fewer. We do not have any existing situations, but we are going to have to grab 2 new ones. First up, intersectional games. We have a chance to turn all the misunderstanding and tension between sections into a friendly competition. All right, so there's no bad effect if we don't do this. We just shuffle it back into possible situations. When solved, we can raise the morale. Okay, so we're already at max morale, but that's nice. That's a break from any trouble. Let's see what the other one looks like. Homesick. It's been a couple of years since Vanguard left Earth, and the ship's new mission seems like a daunting, enormous enterprise. Some crew members are only now realizing they may never see Earth again. So it's like everybody had that little taste of home once we got the Black Knight working, and that's just kind of made them ache even more. So Yeah, we did not resolve this the first time around. Remember, this is situation S01, so you will always draw it in the first shipbook phase, but we focused on doing things. We let this come back around. Now we're in a situation, lose a command token and shuffle this card into possible situations, or lose a success. You know what? We have plenty of successes. So I think we're probably just going to probably don't even need to bother with the situation room this time around. But we'll keep these out and see how things go. I feel like once again it's an embarrassment of riches of us just having a lot of command tokens and not that much that needs to be done. But let's continue on. Okay, so this is where we currently are, which is GYF4. We could check out the black shard again. We've already learned that's just gonna it's 2 energy, spend a rank, 2 crew member, and gain a mineral. So that's good to know. We also have the opportunity to get some more energy here. Let's at the bottom, right? Assign 2 crew members to gain 1. So let's actually take a look at our star map, which I've set up, or we're keeping track. So really the question now is, do we want, let's slide this over, right? Our original plan was to fly over to Iota Pegasi and look for another stele there. But we also have the opportunity, we have this new mission to fly over to Keppler, which is not far away. We'd have to go up to MP212. That's only going to cost us 1 energy with our discount, and then we would fly down to Keppler for whatever cost that is. So we'd probably have to hold on to some energy. The alternative, we fly up to Iota Pegasi. It costs us 1 to get up to 81 INF, and then 2 more to fly through. So that's 3 energy. We've got 5 right now. We could spend 2 energy either here or in 81 INF to pick up a mineral. So there's, at this point, it's a pretty important decision to make. Made difficult by the fact that I probably know a little bit too much. So let me give us some thought about just kind of the way this cruise is playing, the way I've tried to make strategic decisions, and think about which direction we might go. All right, so I've given it some thought, and the fact of the matter is, this decision is impossible to make given what I know. I certainly know, given all the information I have, what decision I should make. But rather than do that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let fate decide. So we are going to roll a Vanguard die. And if it's a Vanguard symbol, then we are going to follow the new priority and head to Keppler. If it's an accident symbol, then we will go to Iota Pegasi and see which turns out to be the accident and which turns out to be the automatic success. So here we go. So Vanguard, we're heading to Keppler. Accident, we're heading to Iota Pegasi. All right, we're going to Iota Pegasi. The dice have decided. So that being the case, let's take a look at the star map. So it is going to cost us 3 energy to fly through. I think in this situation, we are definitely going to want some more energy. I think we're going to have Lena and Tabisa go ahead and check out GYF4C, a methane ice giant with a dense atmosphere. Scans indicate it has no core and no geological activity. So this is certainly nothing new for Tabisa, who's gone on several of these types of missions so far. She is our main scout. As for Lena, just kind of looking at her history, yeah, she's done some scanning, she's researched, she's production, she's done a little bit everything. So this is a little bit something new for her. So the 2 of them will go ahead and board a scout craft and mine this methane ice giant for some energy. Okay, so we gain an energy, they go to resting, And now I think we want to make sure we get that mineral discovery. So we are going to have Camille go to work there as we take a look once again at the black shard. Unusual space debris slowly orbits from the cold sun. And again, that's going to cost us 2 energy, and it's going to be log 205.
Science section report.
The analyzed sample is most likely a chunk of a hypothetical astronomical object, a black dwarf. If we could confirm this, it's proof that dead stars may cool enough to match the CMB temperature. It's an important discovery for astronomers, but of little significance to our mission. We will try to answer some other questions. How did this fragment end up in the planetary system? Why is there only part of it? Where's the rest of the black dwarf? We surmise that it's because there was a collision between the black dwarf and an object of a comparable size, but we don't have any proof to back up this theory. Additionally, the supposed black dwarf is made of rare materials, and it could be safely mined. Excluding cosmic rays, there's no radiation there.
Okay. You may assign 1 crew member of rank 2 or 3 to gain 1 mineral discovery and move it to gathered discoveries. So that is what Camille does. We have found carbon filaments. Vanguard's engineers will undoubtedly find a way to utilize this new material. Undoubtedly. We will add that to our gathered discoveries. And now it is time to travel. Again, we are still hanging out here in GYF4. And now we will spend 1 energy using our travel upgrade to fly over to 81 INF. All right, so we've already checked out everything there is to do here. We got the minerals we were looking for. So we're going to continue flying on. We're going to head over to Iota Pegasi. That is going to cost us 2 energy, and actually it tells us to go to log 430. So let's spend the energy first, and then open up the logbook, or the app, and take a look at that.
Captain's log, entry D485.
10 minutes ago, Vanguard began decelerating to subluminal cruise speed, some 0.2 light years away from the WT-7 system. As usual, the bridge was instantly flooded with data. All the information that couldn't reach our ship as it rode on the Alcubierre wave immediately caught up with us. On top of that, all our systems started sending automated reports. The bridge should be a hornet's nest now, with everyone busy at their stations. This time, it was quiet as a tomb. We immediately saw it. A scintillating crystalline star orbiting WT-7's sun, right where a planet should be. A field of debris left by a dying world, out of which the crystal burst. The gravity of this discovery wasn't lost on the bridge crew. When we visited Pellicid, we took the crystal for a freak accident, likely caused by the civilization that lived there. Now we knew it wasn't a one-off incident. Someone was purposely destroying the worlds from the Builder's list, a list that included planet Earth.
Jeez. All right, let's go to System Max Book, page 7. All right, and here we are at Iota Pegasi. Our scans reveal an artificial object in the barycenter of these binary stars, something that shouldn't be here. Another builder's construct. Unfortunately, it is covered with an anomaly that's too dangerous to approach. All right, so we have Iota Pegasi A. Everything here is perfect. Temperature, atmosphere, water. The fact that a planet more habitable than Earth doesn't show even the slightest signs of life is surprising and disconcerting. If we succeed with our mission, humanity may settle here one day. We can spend 4 energy to gain a success, and we're not going to be doing that anytime soon. For 1 energy, we could set up a colony, but in order to do that, we have to be at objective 6 or higher, which we're not. Iota Pegasi B, mineral-rich asteroid belt, rare minerals needed for Vanguard's equipment. That costs 3 energy, not doing that. Iota Pegasi C, Atropos. Here's our landing. The spinning magnetic field and extreme radiation of this planet make landing here extremely risky. Landing, return any landing card currently planetary scanner to landing cards. Place landing card L5 in the planetary scanner and go to the star map step. As usual. And then finally, S Iota Pegasi C1. These two moons are welded together with enormous bridges. That sounds cool, but that's 2 energy, and we don't have enough to do that. So we are going to go ahead and get ready to check out the landing of Atropos. All right, well, we specifically kept Vidas back because he is our scanning expert, but you know what? First step 0, second step 0, that's it. So let's find out what we've learned about Atropos without having to expend any crew. All right, the mission type. Though potentially profitable, this mission won't include ground-based exploration. Section dice, section cards, and equipment won't have any effect in this mission. Landing, spinning magnetic field and extreme radiation, very high lander attributes advised. What is very high? Not what we have right now, but we are in the midst of some production projects. So that is the end of the shipbook phase. Or the star map phase. So now we have reached the point of ship facilities. So as always, I think we're going to start off with the barracks. So let's flip over there. And we are... So first we could transfer or dismiss crew members. Not going to do any of that. Now we can train recruits. So I think we might be doing some of that for the first time. In order to do that, you basically take a rank 3 and a rank 1. They'll both go to resting, but the rank 1 will immediately bump up to rank 2. So let me take a look and see if I want to actually go through with that with anybody. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a few trainings. We're going to have Nicholas is going to train up Javier. He's shown to be, well, it's a good soldier who's in science. Maybe we should have moved him over to security. But I don't know. There's something about having a whole bunch of security officers in the science section. Remember, Nicholas also a former soldier, so the two get along very well. It's tiring, of course. They have to go to resting, but they go ahead and train up. And Boris is going to train up Terry. So that he can be a more seasoned engineer without even having gone on a mission. So that takes care of that. You can see I've kind of given some thought as to who might be going on the mission, and as I usually do, who's going to be doing production. Those are actually probably going to be doing research. Haven't really come up with a use for Agatha and Mark yet, but let's see how things unfold. So that completes that stage of the barracks. Next up, let's draw, remember morale is high, so let's draw 6 crew members and see who's waking up from torpor. Okay, as usual, just on the initial, I've sorted them by their color conversion. We've got Clara at La Dottera, I don't know, systematic. She can refresh all green dice. She's got a blue convert for construction. All right, we've got Tariff Zogby. His expertise is in technology forecast. Spend 1 charge to discard an event card you just drew without resolving its text. That is cool. Anne Beckman. She has biology. Record keeper. Spend 1 charge to roll 1 die from your spent pool and add it to your roll pool. Okay, that's actually pretty interesting. If a way of definitely situations where there's dice you want to have back to use for multiple tests in a row. So worth a consideration. Evelyn Castillo, team player. When assisting, spend 1 charge to assist with 2 dice instead of 1. After the dice check, return them to your available dice. Pretty cool. She's, biology specialty. She can do that twice. We've got Reeve Haldeman. Looks kind of like George Lucas. Follower. Anytime when another crew member travels from your sector, spend 1 charge to move with them, ignoring path icons. So we've seen that ability before. That's pretty nice. That could be in security with red. That's interesting. And Adrian Oliver. Alertness. Spend 1 charge to ignore the result of a danger die. That's cool. I actually don't think we've seen that ability yet. Okay, so now I'm going to go through, figure who's going to end up in what section, and then we'll go over it. Okay, so, at this point, boy, we have a lot of people in the section, so it's getting harder to figure out who might even be sent on missions. But we got Reeve Haldeman. We're going to put him in security. I like that ability to follow people around and potentially protect them. So that makes a lot of sense. Adrian Oliver, we're going to put him in recon. I had somebody else I wanted to not put in recon. Spend 1 charge to ignore the result of a danger die. Really like the idea of that. So it's red dice, not green dice, but that's still fine. We still got that red basic die. Tarif Zagby, we're going to put him in science. Spend a charge to discard an event card you just drew without resolving its text. Certainly didn't want him in recon. Recon already has that ability through cards, so I feel like it's a good thing to spread that type of ability out. And finally, Evelyn is going to be the one we're going to put in engineering. I mean, I just thought how cool of her to be involved. I want her to be able to assist recon, as long as I'm taking around that rig, the live streaming rig where people can assist from anywhere. That seems really cool. So, and I've not used this ability before. So even though engineering doesn't have a lot of green dice again and already has some Xeno, if we need like a Xeno specialist, she'll be very useful for that. She can assist with her Xeno die, get it back, potentially use it for herself along with her conversion. So that could really come in handy. Those are our new recruits. So let's add them to the mix of available crew. And that is going to do it for the barracks phase. So we've spent our first command point. Next up, we're going to go to research and see what that unfolds. We don't have any new research projects. We just have the 2 we had already started. It's a tech and advanced, so one of them we are going to have to pay for. And that's going to be, since we didn't need Vidas to scan any planets, sorry about that, we're going to go ahead and have him assist with the extreme biome survival. Makes sense. He's researched dust storms and Everstorms and all sorts of planets. So kind of putting some of that knowledge to use. Let's get him in the lab where he can really help with the development of these suits. So first, we're going to go ahead and do the nanotechnology. We're going to need 2 mineral discovery and 2 alien tech. So now at this site, right, I only have the 2 minerals, so we're definitely going to spend those 2. In terms of alien tech, at this point, right, before I had dumped the alien data vault, it's ultra rare. That's the one that lets you automatically fulfill the conditions of your rank up. We don't have a lot of rank ups left. We have 3s ranking up 2s. So I think at this point, let's hold on to that in case we need it in case we need it for some future research that's going to require rare or ultra rare. In case of with the other 3, we're going to be spending all 3. So we'll just pick 2 of those. So there's our 2 and 2 to do the nanotech. Let's pull this out now. So Vidas and Gabolahan working hand in hand to develop these extreme biome survival. So that's going to cost us alien tech, microorganism, and strange flora. So alien tech, microorganism, strange flora. We will send back the one that's actually got an ability. So those are going to pay for those. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. We'll start with the nanotech. Though first steps into nanotechnology were made well before Vanguard's missions, it was the discovery of alien nanomachines and exotic minerals that allowed us to fulfill the visions of Earth's scientists. And on the other side, here we go. Programmable nanobots prove to be a wonderfully universal tool. We can use them for anything from speeding up our production and healing wounds to scouting alien environments. So let's grab those cards and see what we got. So first up, we've got a new lander mod, the Nanobot Swarm. Crew members in sectors connected to the lander sector or in the lander sector may refresh 1 die from their dice check at the end of the dice check. Wow, that applies every time. That could be really interesting. That's a situation where if you want to do a prepare action, you're, in a way, you just it's a free action to draw a card and roll a die and refresh a die, or don't roll any dice and refresh a die. That's really good. I never thought about it in those terms before, that you could just use it with prepare actions. But yeah, you can do a dice check and not roll any dice. It might not be in the spirit of things if you're not planning on putting anything. So I don't know if I'll go that far, but even then, just if you want to swap out one die for another, or you do a dice check, play a card, then get the die back. Very cool. We got a production upgrade. Manufacturing nanobots. A cloud of nanobots causes our designs to literally build themselves, but they require plenty of exotic material to run. You may discard one strange flora and one microorganism discovery. If you do, progress all projects in both production crews one slot to the right. Wow. Well, we don't have those right now, but it'd be cool if we can get our hands on them. And we picked up a couple pieces of equipment. Didn't even have to do production on these. We have a nano med kit. Spend a green or a blue. You or another crew member in your sector discards one injury card, one injury die, and sacrifices a die. Then return this card to the armory. Oh my God, Monica is going to be so excited when she learns about this development. She is going to want to bring that on her next mission for sure. Meanwhile, well, she's going on security to bring it on the mission because she can't actually carry it. Early warning system, spend a die. So it's not an action. It's just something you can do if you're recon. Draw 4 event cards, look at them, and then place them back in the top of the event deck in any order. Boy, I can tell you, I've used this before, and it is an analysis paralysis time sink, but it's definitely very cool. So maybe we'll put that to use for your benefit. I'll pause while I'm making decisions like that. All right, next up, we complete extreme biome survival. We've drafted plans for specialized suits that provide protection and enhanced capabilities in the most hostile environments. Move the following cards to the awaiting envelope. So C10, planet-side outposts. We've already done that one, and that will happen sometimes. There are multiple ways that you can get certain projects. What we have not done yet is C12 section suits. After several ground missions, each section submitted its own idea for a specialized suit. We could manufacture them all at once using as many standardized parts as possible. Requires tech level 3, starting stage 2, grants equipment. So let's add that to our awaiting area. Next up, we have a lander mod. Secure containers looks like this, so that's going to give us +1 lander discovery limit and +1 supplies, so that's kind of cool. We'll see if that comes into play. And 3 pieces of equipment. We have some security mission equipment, defense system, red and a blue, and an action. Place a defense system token in your sector and place 3 markers on this card. You may discard 1 marker from this card to ignore 1 time trap progression on 1 threat card in the sector with the defense system token. The effect of the current time trap slot is not resolved again. And then once you've used all the charges, return it to the armory. That's pretty funky. Science has some mission equipment, a med bay. So you can spend a green and a blue and an action to get it into play. Then any crew member in the sector with the med bay can spend a red, a green, and a blue to discard an injury die. Doesn't get rid of the injury, so Monaca's less excited about that. But if we get in a bad way, we're certainly at a situation our last where we had 1 person with 2 wounded injuries did not want to be rolling both of those dice every time. So medbay could be useful to unload some of those dice to make them less risky. All right, finally, automated protective nanofoam. And again, this is just like a windfall for Monica. Why couldn't we have had all this stuff before her last mission? If you gain the wounded, critically wounded, or burned injury, you may return this card to the armory instead of getting that injury. Fantastic. Really great card. So that is what we have picked up from all of our research. Hard to believe. So let's set this stuff aside. Lander mods. The equipment will drop into the armory. Those are removed from the game. And we have completed our second phase, which was research. So now we're going to spend a 3rd command token and we're going to move on to production. where the first thing we're going to do is install our new upgrade, which will go over here. Those are our nanobots. Then everything is going to advance one. The Faustschlag lander is complete. We are also advancing the Dragonfly lander one spot. And let's look at our production projects. We have a couple that go tech level 4. We can't do those. We are at tech level 3. Yes, let me confirm. We're only at tech level 2. So we're not even ready to do the section suits. So let me set that aside as well. But we do have advanced weaponry, which has no requirement. We can just slot that in stage 2. So for the ones we're not able to do, this is starting stage 1. And again, I'm just putting this here so I get the visual. Those are there. So let's come back here. We can boost. But here's the thing. I'm not sure we need to bother. Not completely. Because we've got that one token left. I could go to the barracks again. And I would be able to get 3 new crew. But I don't know. It almost feels like overkill. Then again, let's see. I mean, am I able to complete both of these? No, I don't even have... Yeah, I wouldn't be able to complete the advanced weaponry. So I'm just going to come back, use my last command token. I'm going to come back to production. These are both going to advance one step. So now we've completed the Dragonfly lander. And, technically, right, during last production phase, I should have gone ahead and resolved the Faustschlag lander, but it doesn't, if I would have, if it had granted something like a production project, it doesn't. Just grants lander and equipment. So we'll just look at them all together. But technically, that would have been done before we came back to the production phase. So we've completed the Dragonflyer. We've moved up the advanced weaponry. Now we just need construction and protection. So we did set aside some people to take care of that. We have Inda and Asata. So I'd actually forgotten about that. But yeah, so we've got them. So then we will complete that as well. Boy, we are just flying through this. Let me grab everything for these production projects so we can take a look. All right, let's take a look. We will start with the first thing we completed, which was the Faustschlag lander. Faustschlag is almost 3 times heavier than the Space Ranger, but it outperforms in almost every way. So we've got the Faustschlag lander card and the pod launcher. So let's start with the pod launcher. This is some more mission equipment for recon. Spend a red and a green, place a launcher token and pod token in your sector. This counts as an action. Crew members in a sector with both the launcher and the pod tokens are considered to be in the lander sector for the purposes of any rules. So any rules. So that means you're on the other side of the map and you need to take off. You could drop a pod launcher, and as long as the token and both tokens are there, you can lift off from there. It also means a lot of these mods that talking like our nanobot swarm or things that talk about being in or next to the lander sector, that would count this as well. Now, there's some questions about how this interacts with the zip line, right? So if you remember the zip line, if you're in a lander sector, you can place a zip line token in your sector. Moving to and from the lander sector with the zip line token is free. This counts as an action. So, being considered in the lander sector, I'm not positive. I mean, I think probably you could drop a zipline token in the same section as the pod launcher, and then it would just enable easier movement to and from there. I've not actually tried that combo before, but interesting. Let's not forget the last thing. They may also spend a die, discard the pod token, and flip this card to place one non-unique discovery from the lander board in gathered discoveries. So you're going to be above your limit. You can just fire one off to Vanguard, and it's even better than that because when you flip this, you notice it's got a time track. So it's going to take 4 passages to flip back over. When it does, you get the pod token back. So it flies up to Vanguard, comes back down, flips over, and you're ready to drop to do it again. So it's very, very cool item. Nice to have this at our disposal. And then let's not forget the main attraction, which is the Faustschlag lander. Well, it talked about needing higher stats. This has 5 armor, 1 sensors, 1 agility. Holds the same equipment as the Space Ranger, but 7 supplies, so 1 more, and 2 structural mods. So we've got those structural mods that give us +2. We could bump this up to a 533 or a 731 or a 713. So now the landing is definitely more difficult. You have to progress through 5 steps in order to do a successful landing. So there's definitely some give and take there. But that is our first new lander because we have been busy and we have also picked up the Dragonfly lander. Dragonfly is the perfect solution for landings that require agility and speed. Move the following cards to the waiting envelope. So we have picked up the Rocket Boosters lander mod. Let's take a look at that. Additional rocket boosters. After utility, after step 1 of the landing procedure, progress the landing track, move the marker 1 space to the right. So that is, that's just a freebie. So right off the bat, you're shortening the length of your landing. So that's pretty cool. Don't know that I would prioritize that against a lot of our other good options, but something to take in mind. All right, so we'll set that aside, and then of course we will take a look at the Dragonfly, which is 044. I wasn't kidding about good agility and speed. You could bump the armor up to 2 with the mods we have right now. It holds a little bit more equipment. You get 5 personal equipment. Still 6 supplies, 1 structural, 1 utility, and a very smooth and easy landing. The perfect solution for landings that try agility and speed. Sure, you only have to get through 2 steps. You take the rocket boosters, you'd only have to do 1 step. So that could be super easy. Although the stats are so high in those other 2 categories, you're probably going to be pretty safe anyway. So that is that. And last but not least, we got a lot of soldiers in the science department pushing for advanced weaponry. So let's give them some. The LF-488 modular turret can be configured to help us guard areas against hostile life or to deploy protective force fields. So we have picked up 3 new pieces of equipment. First is the modular turret. Mission equipment, security, spend a red die as an action to drop it into place. Once per threats dice check combination in a sector with a modular turret token or connected sectors may discard 1 marker from its token to add a Vanguard to the roll pool. So that is cool. And it's got 3 tokens, so you do that 4 times. Then we've got a couple of upgrades. And when you're taking... This only doesn't count as mission equipment. So if you're going to take the modular turret, you get to take these 2 upgrades with you for free. They don't count against the limit. And this one, spend a red die if there's modular turret token in your sector, but no cannon. So you can either be shields or cannons. Place the shield unit token in your sector. This counts as an action. Attach this card to the modular turret so the bottom is available. And what does it do? Crew members in a sector with a modular turret token or connected sectors may discard 1 of its markers to remove a danger die from their current dice check. Wow, that could be great too. And finally, if you're looking for some offense, we've got the cannon. So what does the cannon do? Once per threats dice check, crew members in a sector with a modular turret token or connected sector may discard 1 markers to just progress the green track. So usually when you're dealing with threats, a Vanguard success is nice, but usually from the threats we've seen, it's taken 2 or 3 symbols to advance it. This is just 1 token, boom, 1 step advance. So that could be really good if we need to deal with some difficult threats and go hunting. So let's throw all that in our acquired equipment. Just gonna add the zipline side so we don't forget about it. We've got our two new landers, new lander mods. We have spent all of our command tokens, so it is finally time to choose a lander. So at this point, we have to make a decision. We already know, right, from what we've learned about Atropos that we want very high lander attributes. So what we're looking at again is we're looking at the option of, and let me just throw it up. We're looking at the option of 244 effectively, or 533. All right, so yeah, I'm worried as the Faustschlag is a little bit better stat wise, right? It gives us a total of 11 total, whereas the Dragonfly give us 10, but that's not a huge difference. Again, I'd probably rather have two things in that 4 or higher range. Usually in our experience, you get something up to 4. That's done really well for us. So I think we'll take the Dragonfly. That track really long on the Faustschlag. Look, if I knew that armor was the thing we needed most, I might feel okay, but I really don't know what we're in for on this landing. And I can say that truthfully because I do not remember Atropos. What's exactly involved in that. So we will go ahead, we will take the Dragonfly, we will bump up the shields. We're certainly not going to try and go through this with 0 shields. I mean, given that there's really almost nothing going on the planet, right? We're not actually going to land on the planet. We might also just take the rocket boosters. So maybe this won't be that difficult. We'll see. But that is the end of that. We have made our lander choice. So at this point, we just have to figure out what crew we're going to send. Don't have to worry about equipment or cards, but that being the case, let me look at my options. All right, I've chosen my team. We've got Adrian Oliver, Yuet Nimouan, Petra. This time, hopefully, she didn't get to rank up last time because I miscalculated. I don't even know if there is going to be a rank up, so she may get screwed again. But and Jesse. So we definitely have the potential for some rank ups. I don't know if I would rank up Jesse from 2 to 3. I kind of might have that rank 3 engineering spot reserved for somebody else, but certainly in the case of Petra and Adrian, they have an opportunity to bump up. So there's the crew. Dice don't matter, so I am taking 3 rank 1s, but this feels like a good time to do it since I'm not going to lose any dice. I'm not going to be inefficient for that. You got 1 rank 2 just in case we need some extra, but there's no cards. Yeah, we're going to have to find out what we're looking at when we do this landing. All right, so we've got everything set. We've got our crew. The crew's made up and the dice don't matter, but the crew matter. We've got our Dragonfly lander with rocket boosters and heavy armor plating. Let's go for it. So in order to do this briefing, we're going to go to 65. So let's take a look at the app. All right, here we go.
Captain's log. Entry 412.
We knew that landing on Atropos would present unusual challenges. Instead of risking the lives of the away team, I decided we need to first perform a quick scouting run.
Makes sense. All right.
Scoutcraft mission flight recorder. Mission time, 16 minutes, 24 seconds.
We're approaching the mesosphere of the planet. We detect something that looks like a radioactive force field up ahead. The systems tell us there are some gaps in the barrier, barely larger than our lander. I will try to fit through one of them.
Mission time, 16 minutes, 55 seconds.
The lander is now at the right angle. Engaging boosters. 3, 2, 1, start.
Mission time, 16 minutes, 58 seconds.
The radiation levels keep rising. Many systems are not responding. The gap in the shield is shifting. Reacting to our presence? It's the last chance to change
action.
Okay, all players discuss and choose one. In the case of a tie, the recon player makes the final decision. So our options are abort the landing or let the landing proceed. And you know what? Now would be a good time to learn a little bit more about the crew, mostly green, and we're not talking Nicholas Green, the green crew we've opted to send on this mission. So we have Yut Nimmelwan. Yut was once a member of the Royal Thai Army Special Forces, but decided to quit the job and applied for the Vanguard project. His experience was very much appreciated, but he had much more to learn before he could be accepted. Yeah, I feel like Yut has learned a lot. He feels accepted, and he is entrapped. So he's a vote in favor of going on this mission for sure. How about Jesse Bennett, who's... well, we remember Jesse got a bit squeamish after their last mission. That went a bit rough. The mission went well, but they had some injuries. When you end a planetary exploration with at least 2 microorganisms, 2 live specimens, that's their main goal. That's not going to happen this time. But Jesse left their twin brother behind to join Vanguard and often wonders if they made the right choice. Quiet, unassuming, they tend to fall in line and follow the strongest personality on the team. But when pushed, they refuse to budge from a stance. Their efforts in collecting and cataloging alien organisms has been invaluable. Yeah, and I remember, Jesse kind of took a stand and said, hey, we have to protect this ecological system. From Jesse's standpoint, but I think Jesse's going to kind of hold back, isn't sure, is feeling a little uneasy, isn't sure where to cast their vote. Let's look at Adrian Oliver. We just woke him up from torpor, and given his protectability, threw him in recon and said, hey, get on that scout craft. Adrian's mechanical innovations and bleeding-edge weapons fetched a fair price on Earth's black markets, but also landed him in a sunless cell for many years. Boy, it's a good thing he didn't wake up earlier. He might have gotten tossed on that prison planet. Recruited by the Vanguard Initiative, where he was recruited, Adrian has found new purpose aboard the vessel and feels no need to conceal his sordid past, though his recent run-ins with Vanguard security have made Adrian nervous. Oh, he's one of those provocateurs, maybe one of the hackers. So, he has helped us out. All right. Adrian's kind of probably feeling a little uneasy, but also maybe had volunteered for this mission because of a dust-up he'd had with one security turned science officer, Javier Aguero. Javier was busy training. That gave him an opportunity to kind of slip out of his notice and go on this mission. So at the moment, he's leaning towards continuing on. He's not eager to get back to the ship just yet. Finally, we've got Petra Sadalakova. Before she joined the Vanguard program, Petra was a part of the Slovakian Mountain Rescue Service. She specialized in the hardest, most demanding deep cave rescue operations. Her aura of calmness often extends to her crew members, helping them focus in high-pressure situations. This is a high-pressure situation. Petra is calm, cool as a cucumber, even though this is... even though this is going into the unknown. But she's been on a away mission before. She's confident. Clearly, she's going to want to push through. I think seeing her confidence, Jesse's going to fall in line, and Adrian is along for the ride. So, all that said, we are not going to abort the landing. Maybe we should. I don't know that there's probably better lander mods out there. There are better lander mods out there. But, let's see what happens. I certainly wouldn't have done this in the Space Ranger, but we did put a lot of time into developing that Dragonfly. So we're going to let the landing proceed and let it fly. All right, depending on your lander attributes, you may lose the craft and its crew. Yikes. Okay, well. Does your lander have 6 armor and 5 sensors? We don't have either of those things. We have 2 armor and 4 sensors, so we're close on the second one. Now we know what very high means. All right, on the lander board, place a marker in the starting space, indicated with the S, and move it by 2 slots to the left. So I'm glad we didn't take the other, the Faustschlag. because we would have had, I think, even farther, or it may have already been all the way to the left. Do you want to retreat? Oh, it's giving us an option. No, we have booster rockets. We're going to be able to slide it back one. We're still only going to have to go through 3 die rolls. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, the worst that could happen is everybody dies and we lose the lander. But no, we've already determined that, Petra, who's actually leading this mission, with Jesse, even though higher rank, Petra's really earned her stripes. No, we're not retreating. We're going on. All right, roll a danger die. We have come to it. We have to do this 3 times, and God, I hope we survive, because I like this crew, and I don't want to start filling up the memory wall. All right, first roll is a 3, a rare result. No idea what that might mean. Let's see. Radiation level rises. That doesn't sound good. Neither do the rest. Navigation failure, accelerated debris, field shift, probably not good. Other, maybe. But radiation level rise continues. Ooh, are the shields 5 or more? Well, they would have been if we had taken the Faustschlag. They're not. So each crew member rolls 3 injury dice. Each crew member who rolled 1 critical and 1 regular wound or 2 critical results dies. Remove them from their rank sleeves. Holy cow. This is it. We have not even... This is the first one of these rolls we've had to make. We've kind of been going smooth sailing. Occasionally people have gotten a couple injuries. Boy, we're in it now. There's no going back, though. So we're going to start with Adrian. Come on, Adrian. You can make it. All right. I don't see a critical blood drop, so Adrian lives. Whew. All right, Yut Nimmerwan. Come on, Yut. You've been preparing for this. You've been going through a lot. You can make it. Yut survives the radiation. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Lucky so far. Next up, it's Jesse Bennett. Oh, my God. They got to be freaking out right now. Why did they agree to go on this mission? Why did they listen to Petra? They should have. They were having second thoughts, but didn't do it. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, no. Rest in peace, Jesse. The radiation is too much. Jesse has died. Set them aside. Yikes. Our first casualty. That brings us to Petra. Come on, Petra. You convinced us to go on this crazy mission. We need you. I mean, Petra is out of her mind right now in more ways than one, but that's a good thing in this result. She survives. Yikes. Let's go back to the app. All right. All crew members died? No. All right. Progress the landing track. 1 space to the right. Has it reached the landing? Not yet. We got to do it 2 more times. Do you want to retreat? Wow, we have another option. Jesse has died. We do not have... We have to do this 2 more times. I mean... Our stats are better in the other areas, but if we roll this again... Yeah, I'm worried for the safety of the crew. I think at this point, we're going to retreat. I think it's too dangerous. We've lost our rank to, Petra might, again, is feeling like, no, let's keep going on. But I think at this point, both Yut and Adrian are like, no, we're turning back. Adrian's got the con as the recon. So, yeah, we're going to retreat.
Correct your course immediately.
Roger that. Aborting now. Just for the record, Vanguard,
Yes?
I think I can get through this barrier. I need a better lander and a lot of shielding, but I think it would be possible.
Copy that. Please make sure to mention this in your report. And don't worry about the mission. We've captured a lot of valuable data on our approach.
All right. So, wow, we just begin ship management again. Okay. All right. So, we are leaving the planet. Nothing special here with components check. Docking. We get everybody back from resting crew. Debriefing. Nobody's getting promoted. We didn't get any successes. We don't have enough to buy any cell dice, even with an instructor. We have nothing to unload. So we're going to go to Medbay, where Gia is going to automatically advance one, starting to get better. And you know what? We have a naturally empathic researcher. Evelyn has taken on the role of counselor. Right? We picked her up a new crew member, so it makes sense for her to go ahead and be a counselor to Gia in this time to kind of help usher her through her illness from her trip to Everstorm. So we will go ahead and boost with Evelyn. That's going to let us get Gia back. Evelyn goes to resting. Gia goes to available. And then we're gonna go on to the memory wall, where rest in peace, Jesse Bennett. They did not make it. That was engineering. So we go into the engineering memorial. Engineering may promote one rank crew member to rank 2 or draw 2 random recruits and place one of them into a rank 1 sleeve. Well, let's see. Having just lost Jesse, we are now in a position to promote somebody to replace them. So I think maybe let's do that. You know what? Lena's got this ability to take a smaller personal equipment from the armory. She's been doing a lot of good work on the Vanguard, but I think she could take this promotion. And that is a really good ability to have. So it doesn't say anything about moving them to resting. It just promote one crew member to rank 2. So, okay. So in Jesse's absence, Lena is stepping up. So at least something out of the memorial wall. All right. So I actually think at this point, I'm going to stop there for this session. And next session, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fly on to Keppler and see what that's all about. I kind of get ready for that. I think I can get through the ship phase pretty quickly, and we'll just get right into it. But well, that was an adventure. I guess these 3 are all going to go to resting crew. That's our available crew, and as always, love your comments. Thumbs up are nice. Subscribe if you're not already. I don't know how you got through this many videos and haven't subscribed, but either way, until next time.